Dreams. Today with us we have Mr. Arjun Panchal. He is an entrepreneur, a startup advisor. He is working with Symbiosis Institute.
I'm originally from MP, small town Nagda.
Okay.
And I did my MBA from the University of Massachusetts, Boston. And after 2 years of work experience, I quit my job and came back to India. So we started, my partner Vikas Bohra and I, we started chain of Mexican food outlets with the name PapaZapata in 2016. And we expanded to 6 outlets in the span of 3 years and created my own course with the name Startup Lifestyle Hub.
What are the minimum skill sets? It's a perfect entrepreneur.
Skills, of course, the tech skills and the basic financial skills and experiment mindset, I think, for entrepreneurs is very important.
So what would be your advice? It can be a tech startup which can get good revenue or funding later on to survive.
Build with customers and they start talking about it, raise funds and then keep going it.
So welcome to another chapter of Built on Dreams. Today with us we have Mr. Arjun Panchal. He is an entrepreneur, startup advisor. He is working with Symbiosis Institute. So today we'll be learning a lot of things from him, starting from how to start your startup, get fundings and grow. He is also a storyteller. He is also masters in arts where he has mastered tabla. Am I correct?
Yeah, tabla.
So it's a privilege to have you on this podcast.
Thank you so much.
And I think the audience will learn a lot of things from you.
Yeah, I wish, I hope.
Would like to know who is Mr. Arjun, so how you started your career from your education.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sunit, for inviting. It's going to be an interesting discussion for you, with you. So it's a easy question and tough question also, because if you ask me, we can speak for about 5 hours. Who is Arjun Panchal? But yeah, in quick, I did my engineering. I'm originally from MP, small town Nagda.
Okay.
And I did my engineering from Indore. And I then did my MBA from the University of Massachusetts, Boston. Okay. Then I moved to US, California, to work with a company called ESRI as WFM lead, workforce management lead.
Okay.
After 2 years, you have that, bug of, and I always had that bug of entrepreneurship. When I went to US to do MBA, since then I had a thought that, want to do something of our own and something like that. Okay. But while staying in US for 5 years, I was so inspired with the brand Chipotle.
Okay.
And after 2 years of work experience, I quit my job and came back to India to start a chain of Mexican food outlets.
Okay.
With the name. So we started, my partner Vikas Bohra and I, we started a chain of Mexican food outlets with the name PapaZapata.
PapaZapata. Okay.
In 2016. And we expanded to 6 outlets in the span of 3 years.
Okay.
And yes, and in Corona times, we had to face the hard reality and then harsh reality, and we quit. We had to quit. But since 2016, I've been involved in mentoring startups and teaching entrepreneurship at various institutes. And currently, I am associated with SIBM Pune, and they have the program MBA Innovation Entrepreneurship. It's one of the few successful MBA Innovation Entrepreneurship program in India.
Okay.
And I'm mentoring startups there. And during Corona times, I also created my own course with the name Startup Lifestyle Hub. So it's 140 plus videos, and it's a cohort based program where we help individual plus entire batch. It's a pre-incubation program for incubation centers where we help the cohort and individual startups in detail. Plus tried couple of things in last 10 years.
Okay.
And currently I'm focusing on building a platform for entrepreneurs, which I'll be talking in detail later on, how to come together and build together.
Okay.
So that's a quick journey.
That's great. So when you decided to come back to India, when you came back actually, were the things something different that was surprise to you, that these things don't work here, or there was something that you had to modify, fine tune according to the environment or culture that you use?
Yeah, most of the MBA books, they don't work here.
Okay.
Peter Drucker's and Mullin's model and those all things that you learn in MBA, a lot of things. I mean, of course, I have a deep regard for the education, but a lot of things when you're cashier doesn't show up right in the morning and your housekeeping doesn't come right. So, and the people who come here like asking for, to get down the utensils to what we call mathadi here, and they ask for 20,000 for no reason, right? These things, the hard reality or ground reality in India, that's not given in the books. So a lot of things I face that, hey, I mean, you need different skill set to run business in India, definitely. I mean, what you learn in MBA school, in sitting in AC classrooms, and when you actually do business on ground level, there's lot of difference. And I think everyone has to, before starting, everyone has to go for internship in startups, I would say, to learn that, and then go for starting their own business. That's what.
Okay. So, what is the few things that you want to highlight that are difficult or totally different in India?
I mean, openly I'll share, when we started the first outlet, Mexican outlet in Zion Mall, Hinjwadi. So Hinjwadi was that time, and Gram Panchayat. So Gram Panchayat, they have the office there, it doesn't come in corporation. So we had to open, and so there is a shop act in corporation, but in Gram Panchayat, you have just NOC, right? NOC.
Right.
So they started, they asked for you, like NOC is like hardly, 500,000 right, rupees. I mean, they asked for, in lakhs, honestly. And then like, what are you talking about? 5 lakh for NOC? Then they came down to 20,000. Openly, I'm telling you, this is like challenges. Unnecessarily, there is an waste of energy in going through all these under-table work in India. And that is, I think, that needs to boil down. Things, I'm sure in last 10 years, things have improved. But that time, that is one highlight I wanted to tell you. Plus, of course, hiring also, because you do not have anything existing brands, and hiring people, they building trust in them. And that is, I think, for every startup, that's a challenge. And in India, understanding customer behavior, that was also a task actually. And I'll openly share that we learned after 6 months, 8 months after starting, which we should have learned before starting, because I had everything in mind that how US consumer behavior is when it comes to Chipotle, right? Their competition is different, the environment is different, everything is different there. But you take that template and try to fit in India, it doesn't work. You have to understand the consumer. So that was also reality we learned after 6 months.
Why I'm asking this question is because still starting a company in India is still difficult, and then surviving. And the one thing that we face a lot, ethical challenges.
Yes.
So moral or ethical challenges. It's like business. What is your take on that? How ethical people are when they do business?
Yeah, most of the time, I'll be honest.
1 or 2% only, but they create a lot of mess.
Not 2%. Okay. A lot of people, I mean, keep the ethics aside. Many times you have to play both, I think. I'm not saying that just always go with the flow, but you have to keep a balance both. That how well you balance your ethics. And at the same time, see, I think many times in short term, you may have to compromise to play a bigger and long term game. Because if you get stuck there, then you are stuck forever and you will not grow. I mean, all these big companies, what do you think? Maybe, all 500 companies, top 500 companies, top 50 companies, BSc and SC companies, what do you think, like how they started? Many times there would have been situation they had compromised, just move ahead and keep going, to give a large benefit to the society. You may have to, short term, you may have to compromise.
So with this also, one thing, scaling up to a larger company like MNCs in India, it seems to be challenges unless and until you are supported by someone from politics. Is it true?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you go just straight way, there is no highway in India. So I compare it with how starting a startup is how you go start with the home on Kacha road, right? And then you get some road, and then there is a highway. It takes time. There is no highway in India. So I think it's all building team. including stakeholders. And stakeholders, of course, if you play a big game, then politicians, of course, they play also a bigger role, because at many times nobody will say, when you are small, nobody will say anything.
True.
The moment you come, one article in newspaper, you are highlighted, and then everyone will be after you.
क्या
A
करें?
lot of people would want to join your company. Lot of competitors, they want to snatch things from you, or you are in the eyes of people.
Correct.
So I think an entrepreneur also need to be prepared for that scale up situation.
Okay.
How to handle it. I think that's fun part of it, or that's how that's the part and parcel of being an entrepreneur.
Because in books or videos or the literature that is available everywhere, most of the teaching is with respect to foreign cultures, foreign environment, where things are very easy. When we learn those easy things, it becomes very difficult to implement. That is what I have observed on, because I also do a lot of things to promote my
Who would know better than you? I know you're asking, but you know all the answers before I know that, you know. Yeah.
So that's what challenging I think is in India, because straightforward things don't work. There are a lot of things that we need to do. Not only having a good product, not only having a good pitch line will always help you. There are a lot of other things I also need to take care of.
I mean, I have a friend, you know, he hardly goes to office. He has an interior design firm.
Okay.
But he has so good connects.
Okay.
How you delegate the work, how you handle the stakeholders. I think eventually it's all people management and ego management and people management, because product and service, of course, that requires excellence. But in India, more than product and service, it is more about how you handle the stakeholders and make it happen.
So that's great to know about your views also on this. So we'll come back to startups now. So from the scratch, for example, if some person, right, he can be a student, he can be a graduate, or he can be a person who is already working in a company as an idea, which can be implemented, and to that idea can bring some revenue. That is what startup is all about, right? So how to go about it? 3 different categories, 3 different scenarios, I guess. So what would be the start line for these people actually? And how to evaluate first whether we are working on a good idea or it's something that we need to scrap out?
Yeah, so there are, one is what stage you are in. So student and the bachelors, the undergrad and MBAs and masters, and there are working professionals. So first category is UG, undergrad. I think that's one of the very good stage to start and test your ideas, because you don't have anything to lose.
True.
And even if your startup does not work, you go for masters. No, not a problem. You get that comprehensive experience of running a startup or trying a startup. That is one thing. So whoever is working and undergrads, all the undergrads, it's a very good time to start a startup. You don't have anything to lose. People, all the world they are there to support you because you are a student. I mean, everyone wants to help students. The second is PG, the postgraduate students. They have little bigger risk. The reason is that if they are not able to make it by end of 4th semester, then they will have to join a job, because most of them, they take loans and there is a pressure. So if you're not able to make it in first year, then second year the pressure starts building, and then you lose the focus from startup, and then you have to join a job and something like that. And third is working professionals. So working professionals, it's also a good sweet spot, we can say that. The reason is that they have experience, they have some savings, but with that they have responsibilities also.
True.
They're married, have kids, have loans, etc. in the rat race. To break that, I totally understand and empathize that it becomes challenging for them. But at the same time, now with the emergence of AI, things have become a little easier for them to build and launch product side by side, simultaneously with your job. You can do that. So on weekends you can experiment. come together, try to build a team, try to build a product, and with that you can do that. It's also a sweet spot. So every stage has a different challenge and pros and cons, I would say. So there is no right age to start a startup. Only,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Because many entrepreneurs like MacD, they started at late 65s, I guess.
Yeah, that's the
That's
one example always we give, KFC example. Yeah.
How to evaluate an idea, whether it's going to really impact at least the person who is going to implement those ideas economically. So viability of that idea, whether that can go as a startup or not. So is there any short trick to validate the idea?
There is no trick such, but there is one thing a lot of startups and entrepreneurs miss out. And I think now in last 5 years, all the incubation, so many people already talked about it, that build with customers.
Okay.
That is one thing every entrepreneurs need to know. What usually entrepreneurs still doing that, and that's the biggest mistake I'll repeat again and again in this podcast. Entrepreneurs build the product in silos many times and thinking that they keep coloring on and on the product that one day will launch, assuming that people will be in the queue to buy the product. When they actually launch, they are alone. And nobody is there to buy. So that is one thing entrepreneurs need to stay away or be careful about. So when evaluating the idea, there is no one day that at this time it is validated. You keep improving the idea with customers, build with customers. Do not give surprises to customers. Do not give surprises to customers. You build with them. So many times entrepreneurs, they want to give surprise that, oh, this amazing product. No, don't do that. So even it happened with us also. You know, when quitting job from US, I thought that when we will launch burritos in India under PapaZapata, and there will be a long queue. And we also took a franchisee of Chaat Bazaar with PapaZapata next to PapaZapata in Zion Mall. And I was so hopeful that people will just go crazy for burritos because you don't get burritos usually in Pune at that time. And there was a queue, but there was a queue for pav bhaji and chola bhatura, not for burritos. I was like, boss, I quit my job, and what are you doing with me? So, yes, I mean, build with customer. Had we done some more market research and built burritos with customers, we would have ended up building something else, what people really care about and love.
So, starting a company, at what stage they should decide now it's tested, we should start a company, and whether should they go with solo founders or they should get partners, directors from day one. What is your thought? Because I want to know more on ground realities actually from you, because you have been mentoring.
A good question. I think, usually now the simple thing is, a lot of investors and most of these investors, they look for a team, co-founding team. Yeah, and that makes sense. The reason is, one is focused on building product, crazy for building products. Second is in GTM, go to market, expanding the market, executing. So one is the product guy and second is the market guy. Usually it's the good balance because it's not like one person cannot do everything, but it's easier if you have. Second, you're not alone, right? Entrepreneurship is a very solo journey. Only you know that how much in the depth you are. Only you know that. And many times you don't want to share with the people because they will not be able to do anything about it. So it's better to work in the team as a co-founder so that emotionally you are strong, more brainstorming, work tasks are divided, and both are giving excellence, and together people trust more. And if you can handle one more thing, if you can convince co-founder, then you can convince other people. If you cannot convince one person to work with you, then how will you convince other people to build a team? So that's also there.
Nicely articulated, I guess. Great. And so when it comes to funding, bootstrap versus going directly for funding, at what stage people can think about getting investments from outside?
That is one thing. The right time to raise funds, there is no, because depends on the product, business models, businesses. Everything has a different parameters, or
Okay.
I would say the answers to when is the right time to raise the funds. But the in the digital world, usually when people are attracted, there is a traction. When you start building that traction, you go in the market, 50 people, and they say, wow, this is amazing product. And unless people promote and talk about your product, I don't think that's a really amazing product.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Product or service. But unless people talk to others, just like movie Dhurandhar, right? You talk to 10 people, hey, you have to watch that movie. That comes naturally. Because only GTM, funding for GTM, marketing is not enough. Because it will exhaust one day, right?
Correct. Correct.
So, customers need to be kind of a salespeople for you. And this will happen only when you have amazing product to talk about. Hey, you're not there on Instagram. How it's happening?
Okay.
Hey, you're not there on Snapchat. Hey, you're not there on. Hey, you haven't used iPhone, and you don't know about it. Unless people,
Know about it. Yeah.
users, I mean,
Users.
talk like that. That is the right time to raise the first funds. Till that time, you can bootstrap, and it's better to bootstrap. And what is the right money for bootstrap? What is the right funds? I mean, there is no right fund. Everyone has a capacity. Someone would have 20,000 rupees, 1 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 50 lakh, right? More than that. But here is the beauty of entrepreneurship and being an entrepreneur. Can you manage in that money to reach that traction?
Right.
Even if you have 20,000, but can you manage that 20,000 how and reach to creating that basic prototype or MVP? People will fall for. And that is the beauty. I mean, people say that, hey, if I have money, I'll start my business. This is not entrepreneurship. If you give me 5 lakh, I'll create a successful business. You cannot say like that.
Okay.
Everyone is in the crunch. But how do you manage that crunch and reach to, that is the beauty of entrepreneurship. That mindset, I would say.
And when I talk about investment, from few sources I hear that in India there is huge investment opportunities available, but everyone doesn't get it actually. So what is the one thing that blocks a startup from getting those kind of funds? Am I correct on this sentences?
You're correct.
Yeah, correct. Lot of money is there, I guess, in India. We are not a poor country.
Yeah. No, not at all. People may think, but it's not like that. So you are correct. I mean, we have a lot of money, and where is the money lies? Of course, there are seasoned investors are there. The angel investors, the VCs funds, right? Syndicate funds are there. But beyond that, there is a lot of money with Marwadis, Gujaratis, and Sindhis, and the traditional businesses. Literally, they have huge money. And they, of course, invest. Of course, they have their investment domain also where they invest. It's just that I think, one entrepreneur is looking for 20 lakh. And one traditional business, they have 100 CR or 20 CR, 50 CR. But this person, 50 lakh, if he or she goes to them and they are like, I'll give you 50 lakh. First, this is the mindset which is holding on in India. Will my capital be saved?
Minimum.
So after 3 years, with capital, how much money you will return me? And entrepreneurs are like, boss, I don't know next 5 years what's going to happen. I have a vision. Definitely I'll make big money, but first of all, I cannot promise that this 50 lakh will be completely protected. That is one thing. These people want protection, 100% protection. And entrepreneurs, they have full desires, but where is the bridge who can convince these people? No. Out of 10, 2 or 3 will survive and one will make big.
Money.
But do you take that bet? So there is money. Second, a lot of people are committing. So I really like Shark Tank. I really appreciate Shark Tank that it has promoted
Startup
culture in India, and everyone started knowing. My nephew, he was in 7th, and when he was in 7th, he asked that, Mama, how much is your EBITDA in PapaZapata? I was like, how do you know that? And I know everything. I watch Shark Tank. Like, very good.
Right.
So that is one thing. Shark Tank, a lot of funding events like Shark Tank happen, and there are a lot of fund commitments are there. Of course, they go and due diligence. They go through due diligence, and not everyone goes through. But at least there is fund, there is commitment happening. Out of 10, even 3, 4 are getting the fund. That's really good. So there, of course, there is fund. And but what I told that, there has to be a bridge between the traditional money kept people buying gold or properties or investing in stocks. I think that money, if we bring in startup culture, it would be a great.
So it was good to know that there are a lot of investors available. But I think so those investments are like loans, I guess now. कि आप 50 लाख ले लो,
Exactly.
3 साल यूज कर लो और मुझे 50 के बदले 60 दे दो, 55 दे दो, एटलीस्ट
वो 50 लूज नहीं होना चाहिए. That is
right. And because of this, I don't know whether this is the reason in India we don't see a lot of deep tech startups. Even we don't have deep tech companies deep about startups. That's what I can say. And knowledge per se, expertise per se, if you see the people in India are facilitating big companies outside to build deep tech companies.
Correct.
Or deep tech startups. So how do you see this and what is the reason for this?
So one is that why we do not have deep tech or very less of a deep tech in India. So a lot of, Mr. Piyush Goyal also mentioned that, a lot of delivering 10-minute delivery happening in India. Why not deep tech, right? So one reason is that deep tech requires a lot of R&D. Second, a lot of uncertainty and a lot of time. So because of these 3 reasons, for investors also, it is too much of a big bet. Second, all the investors usually, they look for quick ROI. I invest today, in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I need my money, right? Right from stock market to, that mindset is such that I need quick ROI.
Quick ROI, okay.
The mindset, overall Indian mindset is I need quick ROI. Deep tech, it requires a lot of R&D, lot of funds, lot of risk, lot of uncertainty. And due to that, we need that ecosystem to support those entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs are there to build that deep tech. I mean, all IITs, NITs are there. In every engineering college, there are 10 Dhurandhars, right?
Correct. True.
And they're ready to build. But do we support them? After 2 years, you start asking them, hey, what's happening? There's nothing happening. And under pressure, you kill the startup to get the ROI. That is one. So we need R&D. We need time. We need more money to put in, and patience for next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years to get the ROI of it. That is something we are missing. Second, you see all deep tech companies in US working in the R&D of IBM or working in the company of maybe AI, OpenAI, or all the deep tech companies, NVIDIA, you will find Indians. And Indians growing, and Google CEO, right?
There are many examples.
Many. I mean, all the top companies now, they have Indian top breeds there.
Correct.
So why we are not building here, right? And there is a mindset also. It's a game of mindset. I mean, we have all IITs leaving India and joining other company in US, UK, Australia. So we need to, as I mentioned, that 5-10 years, patience, funding, trust, give them. So example, in US, in second year, I got full scholarship from the college.
Great. Okay.
And I used to get 1.6 lakh rupee a month for 20 hours a week.
Okay.
So I used to go 20 hours a week to work with professors. So effectively 80 hours in a month. In a month, I'm saying. And I used to get 1.6 lakh rupee. And the work was, of course, decent enough. I won't say it's too much of hard work.
Okay.
Who was paying that? The government is paying. So scholarships, RA, what we call research assistantship, graduate assistantship. In most of the colleges in US, they provide these to the professors and pass on to the scholars. And on top of 1.6 lakh, my complete fees was waived off. Imagine. Now, this
amazing,
could be
right?
average for some college 25 lakh, 30 lakh, 50 lakh for 1 year, I'm saying. For 1 year. So for 2 year, average is 60, 70, 80 lakh. And who is, first of all, waiving off? On top, you are paying that much amount. So who is bearing that amount? The college, the government. You tell in India how many, I'm talking about private universities also in US. In India, how many universities, colleges, they give fee waiver, first of all, second. And how many of they pay for research? That is a big question. Hardly. So that is one thing. So overall, that's what I'm saying, that the risk-taking ability that, and there is an ecosystem to support, and that's how you come up. I would also urge the audience here to watch one video by Professor Nirmalya Kumar.
Okay.
Yeah. So he talked about the hidden research happening in India. The reason is a lot of companies now from US, UK, they're setting up their R&D offices in India.
Already they have.
Already, of course, they have. And so many people working, but all the patents you would know, right, are filed globally and in name of those foreign countries. So what it seems to be, it appears to be that all the US companies are going for R&D, India is not. But it's Indian people who are behind it, right? But who takes the lead? The US companies take the lead, and it's in the position is such that these Western countries, they do a lot of R&D and innovation, but Indians, they don't do. But eventually they are Indians who are doing it.
Right.
The crux is who is taking that leap of faith and who is taking that first step, that risk-taking ability, right from one entrepreneur to the entire ecosystem. Are we ready for it? And why don't we do that?
So what would be your suggestion, for example, as we should be the catalyst to bring some change in this environment? And fortunately, before we leave this earth, something paradigm shift should happen. That is what I also think, in India at least.
I think what I maybe, may not know the entire paradigm and whole canvas for the country. But one thing, literally in West Bengal, we will give 3,000 rupees to, to all the unemployment people, 5,000 to, and there is a race to crores, thousands of crores, hundreds of at least crores that goes in freebies. And it's the middle class people who are just watching it, feeling bad from inside, can't do anything. And we are seeing in front of us, we don't say anything.
True.
In 2026, we are seeing this, they're buying the votes. Why don't we spend that amount into deep tech startups? For one ticket, I've heard that, they're giving plane tickets also to come to West Bengal to vote, 10,000 ticket. Imagine, why don't we spend to one poor entrepreneur looking for, I know, many entrepreneurs in my circle, they are looking for 10 lakh to 20 lakh funding. If they get 20 lakh funding, literally they will start flying. But nobody is trusting them. And on second, we find politician, bureaucrats with 5 crore, 10 crore, 20 crore cash.
Right.
It's corruption. Now somewhere we need to do. Now imagine the 20 crore cash from one bureaucrat or one politician. If 20 crore, if we give it to 40 entrepreneurs, 50 lakh, that 40 startups will give 100 jobs,
Correct.
each startup.
Correct.
So we got 4,000 jobs against that money stuck in someone's
Pocket.
pocket.
Right.
Now, this is unfortunate, I think, in India. And nobody is speaking up about these corruption happening and the freebies for the votes. They're buying votes. So these two things I feel, we need to stop. Still, I mean, those traffic police stopping, asking for 100 rupees, 200 rupees, RTO office, my own experience, asking for everything, they are asking for 100 rupees, 200, 500 rupees for this, 500 for this. Technically, it is free. So, yeah, that's my call on that.
That's amazing because it's a big pain point that we see.
It's a pain point.
And sometimes it becomes a single person cannot bring this change. Actually, as you mentioned, middle class is the category who builds the nation because they are the maximum taxpayers actually of this country. They are building this nation.
Yeah, and with no infrastructure.
And they are not participating actively in the elections.
I feel pity because middle class salary is already deducted at the source. Businessman, they have all the leeway to.
थोड़ा सा तो leeway है.
थोड़ा सा है, कुछ कर सकते हैं. But poor middle class can't do anything,
So that's a good stake if we can change something that can bring a good culture, good ecosystem where next generation can flourish. That is what we want to see because I have been to China and other countries where they are so disciplined.
Yeah.
So just to share one example, we visited India and we were somewhere in Delhi and there was a jam actually. And there were lanes that we have and no one was following the lanes.
Hey.
So my friend asked me, why do you have that lanes if no one is following it? So from this so basics, we have a lot of problems to address, I guess. A lot of problems, I think so. How and when, it's a big question.
It's a big question. I mean, so what is the lane in India? The person who is driving next to you, in front of you, that's the lane. If he is moving left, you also move left. Moving right, you pick right.
There is no lane system.
There
it's just
no
a marking
system. I went to China. So people say, so we have a lot of times we have debate that why it's the population is the bottleneck.
Correct.
Why we are, but I think China also has a population, but it's that how we nurture the education system and people and the overall civic sense and everything. So population can be boon or bane both.
Correct.
So population is not the problem.
Correct.
The mindset is the problem. See, coming back eventually to mindsets. Right. So how do you develop that mindset? Starting from the education, but nobody today also in the manifesto, education is not in top 3, top 5. Why not? I mean, we are not spending education in government still so I don't know. I mean,
so one interesting story. Last time we had a visit to one of the colleges. I don't want to name that college, and we were proposing them that we will create an awareness on IPR. The coordinator said, first you create deliver one lecture on ethics. Why? They don't know who has to be an inventor. And many things. I think it's part and parcel of the entire country, I think. So these are some small here and there things that we need to address. From where we can start, I don't know.
From where we can start, I think, I mean, it's tough. But I think education is one thing where we have to start. And
that's easy and because we have masses and they can grow and bring some difference when they grow up, right?
Exactly. Very true. Yeah.
So we have a lot of coming back to the question of funding, startups and everything. So we have seen a lot of startups who do good innovation. They file patents and they eventually don't get right fundings. So what would be your advice? Why they are failing, or what would be their preferred way of looking into that solution and then taking it to such a level that it can be a tech startup, not a deep, but at least a tech startup which can get good revenue or funding later on to survive.
Yeah, a good question, by the way. That so one thing that again I'll repeat that do not make in silos.
Okay.
Build with customer. So whatever customers say, do go with. Now with AI, things have become, especially digital products. It has become very easy to build that product with AI and just test it. You can test with AI.
Yeah,
Build with AI and test with AI.
That's an amazing era we are having right now.
You have 10 tools, test with them. User testing, I'm saying. Then you go to real users. Then 10, 20, 50, 100, depending on B2B or B2C, and take their feedback. And then have an IP lawyer, of course, with you who can continue guiding you that how to, because there are a lot of things that get stuck in due diligence. So have IP lawyer, have company registration properly, things all set, and at the right time you register the company, start growing the team then, and there is a right time to raise funds. I already mentioned that when is the right time, when 20, 50 people start saying that this product is wow, and they start talking about it, raise funds, and then keep going it. One more thing, a lot of entrepreneurs, they have everything, but they don't know financials.
Rather, 90% of the people don't know. I learned finances because I was stuck in finances.
Exactly.
Actually, I thought business is about selling, getting money.
Exactly, yeah.
So we never have been taught on finances in engineering.
Yeah. You many times you
Debit and
taught
credit only.
engineering also. Forget about finances. So many entrepreneurs, if I talk that, do you have 3-year projections? I know that many times projections are, most of the time it does not come out true. But at least, do you have some projections? 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, that how you are going to make money out of it? Are you in profits in next 3 years? They do not have answers to that. So managing funds also, and one more thing with that, if you ask that why startups fail, because of 2 reasons. One is not addressing the right problem. So IP, you talked about that, how to go about it. So they do patenting and everything without knowing the customers and without validating. That is first thing, right? They spend 40,000, 50,000, 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees in patenting the idea to protecting. One more thing with that, a lot of entrepreneurs and budding entrepreneurs, if I share my idea, it will be copied. It never happens like that, honestly.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the reason is that I'm not saying that you keep talking about your idea on all the social media and with all the people. I'm not saying that. What there are people, of course, the key ingredient, of course, you would not share, except very Coca-Cola formula, Coke formula, you would not share, right? Trade secret, you can call it. Yeah, trade secret. But the business model, the idea, I think, with that 10% secret, keep it with you, but keep sharing your idea. The more you share the idea, the more people will nurture it, and the more you build. So people don't share the idea just because they think it will be copied. Second, I believe anything can be copied with having IP also, you know that, right? Even having IP. Lot of features in Samsung, there in iPhone, and iPhone just tweak and it's there, but right. So lot of things can be copied also. Only one thing cannot be copied. We call it moat, right? Moat in startups. What is your moat? People ask, what's your moat? And we say that speed is your moat. Can you execute with speed? First in the market, grow first in the market, like Zepto. Now, what is Zepto's moat?
Quick to the market.
Quick in the market. Now, there is an idea, you copy it, just do it.
Instamart is there now.
Instamart.
Following.
Do it. Can you do it now? No, because speed is the moat. So, in India, a lot of businesses, they run on speed, execution. You just go ahead, acquire the market, kill the market, and that is your moat. IP helps, of course, it helps, and wherever it is required, we need to have it. But only IP will not help, no?
Correct. True.
It needs to have that speed of execution. So that is there.
Thank you for sharing this. And what would be the second reason for the startups to fail?
Yeah, so the first reason I mentioned that, why startup fails, because they are addressing the need which does not exist in the market, or
Yeah.
they work in silos and they try to surprise customer. That is first.
Uh-huh.
Second reason startups fail is that cash crunch, what we already
Right,
discussed,
right,
finances,
right,
right?
right.
So cash crunch. So this is the formula that if you have 1 lakh rupee, for example, you start with 10,000, 20,000. Most of the entrepreneurs, I'm just giving percentage, most of the entrepreneurs, they go all in, spending 80,000, 90,000, and to test the market. And when they need actual money, they don't have. So running out of cash is the second reason. Managing the funds is the second reason. If you have 10 lakh, people go all in with 8 lakh, 9 lakh rupees and they don't have funds. So cash crunch is the second reason why startups fail in India.
Okay. And somewhere I have read that 97% of the startups, not only India but globally, fail. Is it true?
So this 97%, some people say 90%, 90%, it depends on the stage of.
Okay. Okay.
So if you say
Total
at the
okay.
idea stage,
Okay.
I would say 99.9% startup fail. Idea stage, because a lot of people have idea. How many people actually build?
Okay.
Then there is second category, people have the prototype, MVP, they fail. Then they are at the launch stage, they fail because everything is there, but team members, because of lack of resources, they are not able to. When they launch, then they go, at that time also they fail. So at different stage, there is a different failure rate, I would say.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, out of 100, 1 or 2 startups go next level,
Okay.
10x. 10% startups, they linearly they scale.
Okay. Okay.
10, 20 startups, they survive.
Okay.
And rest of they completely fail, I would say. That's how.
So as you are a startup mentor and a coach as well, so who can reach out to you so that they can make sure that at least they don't fall into that 97 category, 97% category? They can at least increase the chances of the success.
Anyone can reach out to me who want to be in 3%, not be in 97%, but I don't guarantee here because it's recorded, so I don't guarantee, but certainly I'll be happy to help. So I actively work with students, of course, MBAs and undergrads also.
Okay.
So we ran a batch for working professionals also.
Okay.
So I'd be happy to share that. So if you see the pyramid, there's a visible entrepreneurship and invisible entrepreneurship. So there's a 5% visible entrepreneurship, like founder and CEO with 1 member only on LinkedIn.
That's also
visible
entrepreneurship,
right? Visible entrepreneurship.
Right.
Head incubation, CEO incubation, right? Educators, researchers, right? They are IP professionals helping startups.
Right.
They're visible entrepreneurship.
Correct.
But 95% there is invisible entrepreneurship in corporates also. And there are corporates, there are so many dhurandhars are there. We call them intrapreneurs. They're entrepreneurs in organizations, right? And there are a lot of people in corporates, they want to quit their job and start something of their own. So we ran a batch for them also who want to work. And why I call it invisible, because they are on the LinkedIn, they want to do something, or they have aspiration, they have everything, right? Experience also, some funds also. But they cannot write it on LinkedIn because that, hey, I'm working on this idea, and because their boss is also
HR
also HR is there
watching
on the link, watching on LinkedIn. Hey, that's why you're not coming to office regularly. And like, so there is a big risk, and people don't share. And that's why I'm trying to create a platform which will reduce the friction of other social media, of Fiverr or LinkedIn or Instagram, where people meet because they do not have a common platform for entrepreneurs. So I'm working actively to build a platform where entrepreneurs and stakeholders, the freelancers and co-founders and investors and mentors and interns, they can come together and build together. So the platform UX UI is such that it will be very easy, a quick connect for entrepreneurs to come together and build together. So that's what I'm working on. So, but I mean, students or working professionals, I'll be happy to help them. And of course, we are in the process of launching,
Uh-huh.
testing, I would say. We are
Okay.
testing this platform now.
Okay.
And
So what
soon
is the
it
name
will
of the
be-
platform? Or it's still under development?
Honestly, the 90% the platform is built.
Okay. Okay.
Have not kept the name.
That's the last piece that is.
I was
Okay.
sitting with one of my mentees, student
Uh-huh.
from Balaji Institute, and
Uh-huh.
he is building logistics. He is building, and he has worked 1.5 years
Uh-huh.
actively to solve problem
Uh-huh. Okay.
in logistics.
Okay.
I asked what's the name of the platform. He does not know.
Right.
So uh, I want to add here that I heard in one reel that in 20s people learn, in 30s they prove, and in 40s they build meaningful products. Correct.
Right.
So in 30s, even it's wrong, they want to prove it. And in 20s, they want to do everything and anything under the sun.
Correct.
But in 40s, you start building products.
Right.
Perhaps what I'm trying to build is now it is meaningful to. But that's why I'm not kept the name.
Okay.
Something related to build together or something.
Okay.
Will
So this will be a networking platform?
networking plus collaborating.
Collaboration.
More of
Collaborating.
collaborating.
Okay.
Because more of collaboration.
That's great. And also, you are associated with Symbiosis.
Yes.
So I heard they also give a lot of funds. So how is the startup culture, and what are the things that external startups can expect from Symbiosis, if it is possible?
Yeah. So SIBM. So it's been 4 years. We have e-cell of SIBM Pune.
Okay.
So SIBM is one of the top institute in India
Correct.
in business management.
Correct.
And they have their program MBA Innovation Entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
So e-cell of SIBM Pune, they have been organizing the grand pitch. It's similar to Shark Tank.
Okay.
So they have been organizing for last 4 years now. And happy to share that in last year, 5 startups raised 22.5 CR funding. And this year, 8 startups raised 17.6 CR funding in one day. So it's an amazing platform for entrepreneurs to pitch. Of course, the competition is very tight. The selection criteria is very tight. Out of 300 good startups, we select only 10 startups who pitch on the final day.
Okay.
And happy to share, out of 11 startups this year, 8 startups, they were able to raise funds and spread out across industries, across stages.
Okay.
And it was a good opportunity. And there were 9 investors who came. So usually external investors, they come.
Okay.
So that's the opportunity what SIBM Pune gives to aspiring entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Plus, eCell runs a lot of collaborative events also throughout the year. They have the E-Summit. I invite the mentors and investors to come explore SIBM Pune MBA Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program. And the grand pitch is there, Maverick sessions are there. There's so many live events happen where students, they set up the stall, physical or digital products. Happy to share, last year there were 24 groups were there. Each group invested about 35,000.
Okay.
And they were able to generate 35 lakh of revenue in 3 months period.
Okay.
So that's what kind of it gives real exposure to them. So right from ideation, in first semester you focus on ideation, the second semester they build products, third they try to launch and scale, and last is they try to scale up. So that's the ideal journey of entrepreneurship.
And anyone wants to join or get funding from these kind of forums, how they can approach?
So it happens in October. Second week it happens, the grand pitch. So eCell, they reach out to people on the various forums. So they can reach out on various forums like Unstop and those kind of platforms where there is an application for startups. And there are Symbiosis startups, SIBM Pune IND startups. Plus it's few places are open for the outside startups also.
There are few places only for
few places for outside startups. So people can approach, and I must say that this is a wonderful opportunity for other startups, because I can understand Shark Tank gives you national presence,
Right.
but SIBM also is a wonderful platform where uh, I have seen startups raising 3 crore and 5 crore also
Okay. Okay.
in that pitch. So that is the beauty of that.
That's great. So, is there anything that we can share, the link or something like that?
I can share the link here on the eCell link where they can reach out.
Okay.
The email ID I can share.
So we can
The
put down
eCell.
put that in the description.
Yes, yes. Be happy to share the eCell at sibmpune.edu.in that you can share.
And also, if anyone wants to access you as a mentor, so how they can access you?
They can you can reach out to LinkedIn. You can share my LinkedIn here.
Okay, that also will share in
And
the description.
slh.world is the website they can reach out to.
Okay, okay.
So that's how, and they can schedule a session with me.
Okay. Is there any selection criteria, or anyone can approach who are aspiring to be an entrepreneur?
Not really.
Okay, okay, great.
So I'll be happy to help. The reason is that so the program that I created, Startup Lifestyle Hub, it's a pre-incubation program for the startups who are rejected from incubation centers. Like, so incubation centers, if they receive 100 pitches, they select 10. But 90, what about those 90? If you nurture them, after 3 months, they also become eligible. But nobody reaches out to them to help them, to support them, and enable them to become the part of the cohort in incubation program. So there is a lot of potential there also, but we just reject them. So it's not about selection, I would say it's more about nurturing them and enabling them to reach to the next step, wherever they are.
It's a big leap of faith, I can say. The people who are rejected, you're supporting them.
Yeah,
I think so. It's really great that support that.
It's a heavy lifting. It's a heavy lifting.
Right. So it was amazing discussing with you. A lot of things we discussed actually. Deep tech startups, failures, what is the stage when they can go for funding and everything. So we'll have little rapid fire questions on you. The first question is, what are the minimum skill sets or traits that makes a perfect entrepreneur?
Skills are many, but traits, skills, of course, the tech skills and the basic financial skills, etc. But traits, it's I would say, being indefatigable, being not giving up. That is one trait. And one more thing, that experiments, keep experimenting. If anyone does not have that experiment mindset, experiment to test with customers, that is one thing I feel
is important.
Yeah, I can speak on and on, but it's a rapid fire, so I stop it here. But experiment mindset, I think, for entrepreneurs is very important.
Very much. Okay. Can every startup go for funding?
Depends, but depends. It's a manufacturing, or we want to go in debt or equity.
Okay.
So that is there. So I wouldn't suggest that every startup should go for it. Okay. But yes, the current new age startup with the digital thing, and they want to acquire users and grow, of course they require funding.
So when it comes to funding, is it better to have bootstrap or get funding from the investors?
As I told that, till that 50 people say that
Feedback.
This is amazing, wow product, till that time, bootstrap. After that, investors will reach out to you. So we always say that you create the traction where investors are after you, not you are after investors.
Very nicely articulated, I guess. So instead of pushing, there should be a
pull. Yeah, create that pull where investors, reach out to you that, hey, how much do you want?
That's great. It was amazing talking to you, and even I learned many things from you that I can also implement in my day-to-day marketing or the strategies that we are doing. So it was amazing discussing with you. So I have learned a lot of things, and I hope audience have also learned a lot of things.
No, it was amazing, engaging, and it was happy to share a lot of things and discuss with you. Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you. And I hope if you need any help, you can reach out to him. We are sharing the LinkedIn profile and the Symbiosis links over there. So anything that you have any queries or support, he is there to support you. So thank you for being part of this.
Thank you so much, Sunil.
Yes.
It was pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure.
And pleasure being here. My honor and pleasure. Yes.
So thank you once again. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the people who are aspiring to be an entrepreneur or they want to start their own startups. If you have any suggestions, if you want us to invite anyone that you want to hear from them, we are ready to do that. Just write the details in the comment box. We'll try to invite those speakers as well. So keep inventing, keep investing, and keep earning tremendously. See you next time. Thank you very much. And this video is sponsored by Brainiac IP Solutions, which is an intellectual property firm expert in building intellectual property strategies for MSMEs, startups, MNCs, and academics. So thank you for watching this podcast. If you like this podcast, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and also spread the knowledge that you are getting with the relevant fraternity. Also, if you want to learn something or if you want me to invite any expert, just write in the comment box. I will try my level best to invite those experts on this podcast also. Keep investing, keep inventing, and keep earning tremendously. Thank you very much.